these guys are playing, because sometimes it's not just about getting the win, but how you go about it, and it has been a fun sight to see.
All right, let's send it over to Megan Tripoli.
Thanks, Ian. Seth, for the 8th consecutive time this Brooklyn Nets team has defeated the New York Knicks, how are you guys able to sustain the lead throughout this entire game?
Just playing together. We started on the defensive end. The first group came out, defended really well. The second group came in with some more energy, and we got stops, and we were playing fast, moving the ball, sharing the ball. Everybody got involved. That's a fun brand of basketball to play.
You told me last week that it was going to take some time for you to feel that shot again. Well, you knocked down 6 threes. You finished with 23 points. How good did it feel to see those threes go down?
Felt good. I feel like I haven't made a shot in a couple weeks. I'm working my way back. I still got a little ways to go physically, but I'm just trying to put in the work every day, take it step by step. I know it's a long season, but teammates, coaches kept encouraging me, and I saw one go through the net, and it felt like I was back at home, so it felt good tonight.
And what does it mean to get this win for Jacque Vaughn? He's officially the head coach of this team, and to do it against the New York Knicks.
It means a lot. As soon as Jacque was called in to be the interim, he brought a great mindset to us. He was working hard every day, that junkyard dog mentality of, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to coach y'all the best I can every single day. And that's the mentality the players took on. We know we're down some bodies and a lot of adversity going on, but like I said, everybody's been locked in mentally and taking it day by day, and it's a good win for Coach, and it started with him.
12 points, 12 assists, most career points against the Knicks, all-time minimum 10 games. How about this? Jordan at 31.6, Jerry West dipping back into the Wayback Machine at 30.1, and then Durant 29.5.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's beaten them now 13 straight times. And then, of course, for the poor Knicks fans who have to suffer a 27-point loss tonight, you have to remind them of all the times that Michael Jordan used to beat them, and he averaged 31.6 in his career. By the way, Michael Jordan, born in Brooklyn, used to mean a lot for him to go up against him.
Tying it all together.
And there we go.
I like that.
So
now,
synergy.
Now, Knicks fans and Nets fans get to hear from KD.
Kevin, just to start off, what was your reaction to Jacque getting named the full-time head coach?
I was excited for him. I know the work that he puts in every day. I know how much he cares about the development of each player and his team as a whole. And looking forward to playing for him. All the guys have responded to how he wants us to play. And, so I'm looking forward to, how we progress after this.
You say you guys are 3-2 with him, but both those losses were competitive. Could easily be 5-0. Just what do you think he's brought since getting elevated to that chair that's worked so well for you guys?
Simplified a lot of stuff. That's usually what happens when you're losing games, and we start simplifying offense, defense, just making things easier for all of us and putting us all in situations to succeed individually, which is going to help us as a collective. So. We still got a long road ahead, and we just gonna keep grinding, keeping our head down, and keep working.
Kevin, what is the difference between Jacque's style and Steve's style?
I don't even want to compare the two. I feel like both guys are high IQ guys that know the game. So it's just a matter of the players just going out there and making shots. I think we've been making shots lately and guarding up. So. I don't want to compare the two, though.
To that, why do you think everything's been clicking for the last week or so now?
We've been struggling. We've been through a lot, and guys got pride, individual pride, and just wanted to come out and just play better. And that's what we've been doing. So, we don't want this to be a honeymoon stage for us. We want to continue to keep pushing through, keep finding ways to get better, finding ways to, turn those weaknesses into strengths and keep pushing from here.
Kevin, you guys have 30 assists tonight. Just what led to you guys moving the ball at that rate?
We called some good sets. We getting some space, and guys are getting downhill. Once you beat your man off the dribble, then the passes open up for you. So we're just trying to make the right play. Royce has been good handling the ball out top fours. Ed, Cam, Seth, and Ben played great tonight handling the ball for us. So the more guys we can get driving and kicking is the better for us.
Obviously, Edmund missed the entire season with the Achilles. Just how have you seen him come along to be able to have the impact he had tonight?
Yeah, his confidence is growing. That's a tough injury to come back on. You don't know how you'll feel, how your body will respond, but he's going out there and trying stuff. And that's the best way for you to get over an injury, is just to try and test yourself, push yourself to the limit. And he's getting into the paint, he's making threes, and he's just playing fast. So I'm excited for him.
some of your individual numbers have been as good as you've had to start a season, and obviously tonight, not just the scoring, but the rebounds and assists. When you guys have had kind of a chaotic start to a season, changing coaches, things, do you say, all right, at least to make sure they can depend on me? If I'm doing my part, we'll figure out the rest?
Yeah, I always just try to do my job. I adopted that mentality about 10, 11 years ago working with Brian Keefe, one of our coaches here now, actually. And just all about just every day, no matter what, come to work and focus on being the best that I can be, getting the most out of myself every day. So I try to stay in that with that approach, and regardless of what's going on around, try my best to be, to make an impact. So I think we all have that mentality of just focusing on our jobs and controlling what we can.
Last one. Yeah, there's a video going around pregame of you barking at some young Knicks fans. I don't think you've ever lost against the Knicks while you've been here. Just talk about the rivalry. What does it mean to you?
Yeah, regardless of each team's record, there's always going to be a rivalry, regardless of who's on the floor. There's always going to be a rivalry because of the fans here in New York City. They're so passionate and they love sports so much that there's always going to be competition. So as long as I got a Nets jersey on, I'm always, if I see a Knicks fan, I'm always going to give them, throwing some being a Knicks fan. So it only adds to the rivalry, and the fans feel more engaged if they see a player, engaging in the rivalry as well. So it's all in fun.
It is a good rivalry, and he seems to get up for it. Longest streaks with 25 or more points. We already mentioned Michael Jordan has done this. 16 straight to begin the season back in 88-89. The prior season, 13 straight. And KD is at 12. So he's closing in on that, and he's in a good groove right now.
It's impressive. Also nice that he mentioned assistant coach Brian Keefe, who I know a little bit was with Kevin Durant when they were together in Oklahoma City. So nice to see Kevin Durant not just talking about Jacque Vaughn, but also the assistant coaches as well.
He had 12 of their 30 assists. And by the way, he was more than happy, Jacque Vaughn, to point that out when he in his post-game press conference.
And again, everyone talks about leadership all the time. They think a guy's got to be in the locker room giving a Newt Rockne type of rah-rah speech. Leadership is when your best player is doing all the things that everyone else is supposed to do. Playing hard, defending, and moving the ball. That's the greatness of Kevin Durant. He still gets 29. Again, it should have been 30, missed the free throw. Yep. Would have made me look good. But he's out there rebounding, and he's moving the ball, and that's, everyone else on the team picks up on that. And you can tell, what I love about it, too, he said, I don't want this to be a honeymoon period. We need to keep playing well. There's still a team that's below 500, but clearly over the past week, it's just you're seeing the signs. Obviously, defensively you're seeing it, but now you're starting to see guys get healthy, including Seth Curry. You know what's funny? You brought this up in a commercial break. The fact that the season already, the way they started, kind of feels like a slog. I know. They only played 12 games. I know. There's so much season left to make those positive changes. Well, think about how much has happened kind of off the court with this team, which kind of like adds to it as well. That's why keeping everyone focused about just getting their job done. The players, they always say, I have to just worry about the stuff that I can control. And I think that's what they've done really the last week, going out, playing hard, and getting some wins. He talked about KD driving and kicking. They should put that on a T-shirt. That's right, not bad. Just a thought. All right, we're going to take another break. We got more coming up here on the post-game show. More reaction. Nets winning at 112-85. Stick around. By Infinity, by the way. Here's Jacque.
Jacque, for a situation where your first opportunity now here as a head coach, how did it feel to get a win that was that authoritative and comprehensive? And in your mind, what were the keys to it?
Yeah, I think we really came out with the right mindset. That first group really got us and established like our wheel. We picked up full court, really tried to put an imprint on the game, and then guys just filtered in off the bench and had an impact. Kevin's job of getting the group going, his ability to be a hub for us, rebound for us, come up with a triple-double, set the tone, and pretty impressive.
Jacque, I got a couple for you. Just where would you say Seth's at? He was unable to play in the back-to-back, then he has a big night tonight. I mean, where would you say his progress is at, and do you expect him to play this weekend in L.A. both games?
Not sure about both games. Hopefully he gets here. It'd be good to see how he feels after this game. Said he felt good with the minutes tonight, so we'll just keep building. Surely good to see that ball go through the net, I'll tell you that.
And then Edmond, he talked this morning about missing the open threes they were giving him. It looked like tonight that finally changes. What would you say to him?
Yeah, I think overall the looks have been good. And so the process was right. We talked about that. Continue to trust each other, spray that thing. And we even said in the timeout, like, Kevin's ability, he hit Edmond in the corner. They shifted, made three, did the same thing with Royce when he was at the elbow. He missed a shot, but the process was right. So we keep doing that, we'll be all right.
And just last one, is there anything new with TJ Warren?
Nothing new. He'll get some more work on the road when we head out west. And good thing is he's still on the court and progressing.
Coach, just the number of assists you guys had.
30, Christian. Let's go.
30 assists.
Come on, that's a good number.
Yeah, is that a byproduct of defense leading the offense, or is that kind of just the offense, the half-court offense that you guys wanted to see out there?
Yeah, I think overall, we're putting guys on the floor, hopefully, that continue to play with each other and, getting into the paint. If we can continue to do that, put pressure on the defense. We have multiple ball handlers out there. We can play small. Kevin can handle, which is, very unusual. We can bring smalls in to set screens. So we're just taking advantage of the spacing, and guys are just playing freely, which is great to see.
What did you think about the way Ben and Edmond played tonight?
Yeah, great. You see Edmond setting the tone for us, picking up full court. He did it versus Luka. He did it tonight versus Brunson. So he'll continue to do that, set the tone. It just makes a difference. He's engaged. He gets the rest of the group engaged. And then Ben was great. I thought he was aggressive. I thought when he had the basketball, he pushed it with pace. So I think overall a positive night for him.
At the beginning of the second quarter, I think the Knicks scored 5 quick points, and you called that timeout.
That was a quick one, Chris. Yeah. We're not going to let that thing get any further than that. Yeah, that was a quick one. We had to talk it over. We had a shot that wasn't great, and then also offensive rebound same time. So we just had to lock back in and remind them to lock back in.
Jacque, the defense these last few games, especially tonight, it seems like there's just better communication. A lot of these guys on some of these switches recovering all the way across the court to match up. Like, what do you attribute that to these last few games?
We showed 2 clips at halftime. The 2 clips were us shifted, very much so, covering for each other, the talk behind it. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's what we talked about. The basketball isn't perfect, but you cover for your teammate, and he covers for someone else, and we can live with it. So I think that's where we're progressing and seeing, I know, guys not caring if they get beat. They're trying to do the right thing, but the teammate's going to cover for them.
Jacque, the box score only says 2 assists for Cam Thomas, but even the hockey assists, he'd rack up more. I mean, obviously there's a thing in summer league about him trying to be more of a playmaker. I mean, how much has he grown on that from his own emphasis on it versus you guys and the coaching staff kind of staying on him for it?
It's just growth as a player. I think Royo Ivey works with him on a daily basis, and he's done a great job of watching film with him, giving him the space to score, but also challenge him to grow as a basketball player. And that growth is playmaking. I mean, you saw at the end of the game, he can get a shot when he wants to. We can run flat for him like we run for Kevin. But his ability to continue to learn angles and when the help is coming, he's going to continue to get better.
Going back to the defense, are there things you've talked a lot about? You didn't know how long you were going to be coaching. You're not overstepping your bounds when you were the interim. Now that you're the head coach and this is your squad going forward, are there things that you're going to be able to install defensively that you haven't had a chance to do that now you're going to feel comfortable in kind of drilling down and asking these guys to do?
Yeah, I think overall you've seen a little bit of it. The ability for us to protect the rim is going to be huge. I still think that's important as a group. And that's going to be impacted by the rebounding piece. So if we can focus on defensive rebounding, we can take a big jump on the defensive end. We've already taken a big jump. Last 4 games, teams under 100 points, which has been great. So definitely concerted effort. The fouling, the defensive rebounding, we can take another jump, Brian.
Thanks, JB.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
And the final stats from tonight's win include our key to the game, field goal shooting, and that's better than 48% from the field. They hit 14 of 34 threes. And again, there wasn't much the Knicks could do to slow them down.
No, and I'll tell you what, one guy who hasn't been mentioned yet, Royce O'Neal played 34 minutes, all right, 6 points, 10 rebounds, which is great, 5 assists, he has 2 steals. You know that he was a plus 44. Wow. So the Nets outscored the Knicks by 44 when Royce O'Neal was out on the court tonight. That's pretty good.
Jacque Vaughn pushed some right buttons, too, calling that quick timeout. If, you know, we talk about the Nets finding a way to bottle this win. How about Jacque Vaughn finding a way to do that?
Exactly. That was a really smart timeout that he called. Good job. I think it was Kristen Winfield who brought up the, asked the question, because that was smart. And I think maybe that's something, you know, Jacque Vaughn's first time coaching, he's going to let his team play through that. He's thinking, no, we're stopping the game right here. I'm going to point out what we did wrong at both ends of the court. I also like that he brought up at halftime, he was showing them some clips where they were helping each other on defense. When a man got beat, you're rotating, closing out on shooters, which they did a really good job of in the second.
You know, that's a great point. Why wait till the next day? Why wait till the next practice? It's kind of out of mind, out of sight. You show them right then. See this? Do it again.
Yeah, and I like that they kept competing when they built the big lead, because last year the Nets came back from 28 down, 24 down side. Remember, the Knicks scored 76 points in the first half against Minnesota the other night. They didn't get to 76 until there was under 5 minutes to go tonight.
Unreal.
Really well done.
Yeah, meantime, the Nets scored 69 in the first half. They didn't need nearly that in the second half to put this thing away. Let's talk about Kevin Durant and what he accomplished tonight. You said maybe 30 points. Yeah. He tricked you with a triple-double, 29, 12, and 12.
I know, and he missed that free throw late, which would have done it. You know, I thought clearly it's early in the season. I thought it was the Nets' most complete game. I also thought it was Kevin Durant's most complete game. Just the way that he played, doing a little bit of everything. I liked the little back and forth with him and Julius Randle. I think Julius Randle maybe a little talking. I think he got in Kevin Durant's ear a little bit, and I thought that little fire into Kevin Durant, not that he needs it, but I thought that gave him a little extra motivation. But just doing a little bit of everything, blocking some shots, but getting the rebounds, that was the triple-double right there. And I love this. The backdoor pass from Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant with the layup and one. And, of course, he missed the free throw, which would have given him 30, and I would have been right.
We always talk about his size, the length, that quick burst that he has. Because of his size, it allows him to just get by guys.
Yeah, I loved it, too, because you're coming off a game the other night in Dallas, end of 3 games in 4 nights. He had the disappointing finish where he missed the free throws. What I loved about tonight, all right, so he's scoring as usual, rebounding the ball, passing. A lot of times the camera caught him, you know, pointing out, like, you know, instructing his teammates what to do. Yeah. You can tell he was really engaged. And I think when you surround Kevin Durant with guys that are going to work hard, could knock down shots, you could see it really got him going tonight.
He has personally won 13 straight games against the Knicks,
Amazing.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, and they won 8 straight against the Knicks overall. And you just wonder, and you brought it up, kind of the back and forth with Randle, how much extra juice there is, knowing it's the Knicks, knowing that, you know, you can dominate the New York landscape if you keep winning games against them.
100%. And, you know, he was linked to the New York Knicks a few summers ago before he decided to sign with the Brooklyn Nets, so that's always going to be there. He knows who's on that bench. He knows who Tom Thibodeau is, going to try to design all these different defenses to stop Kevin Durant, and it didn't work. And, by the way, once again, you know, we started the season, and everything was about how poorly they were playing defensively. There was a stretch tonight in the game, and I get it. The Knicks' bad aim had something to do with it, but the Knicks went through a stretch where they missed 20 of 22 shots and 15 straight three-pointers at one point they missed. So, yes, that's some of the Knicks not making shots, but that also tells you how engaged the Nets are on the defensive end.
You know, you talked a minute ago about Kevin Durant kind of being a floor general out there. Is he doing more of that in the absence of Kyrie Irving?
I definitely think so. Yeah. I think he's taken on more ownership. I think he knows that they need him more than ever. And I think what's so huge and what's going to keep him motivated and engaged when he's on the bench, other guys have to do something. That's why I thought tonight, and Megan just interviewed Seth Curry. Yeah. That, to me, you know, winning the game is great. The way they defended is great. What happened to Jacque Vaughn tonight is great. Edmund Sumner, the way that he started, getting the win. But for me, it's Seth Curry. That guy came into the game having scored 4 points all season. He made 1 3-pointer. Seeing him do that, that changes so much because you need those other. Not only is he a threat to score, but you have him out there with Joe Harris. They spread the court, opens up the floor.
All right, you brought up Curry, you brought up Sumner. Let's take a look at both of them and the way they were able to impact really right from the jump. Edmund Sumner having a big first half as part of that 69-point first half.
100%, Bob. And what you love about it, here's a guy that didn't even play last season. Now you're going up. So you're a free agent signing with the Brooklyn Nets. You're kind of been overshadowed by the guy you're going up against tonight. That's Jalen Brunson. But Edmund Sumner came engaged. I'll tell you what. He was impactful early on, and I think the scoring is huge for him. Running the court, I guess they were calling him turbo, with, you know, the speed that he has to get up and down the court. But I think his confidence is improving all the time. And then this was the big moment. You know, Seth Curry, who has struggled so much since that offseason surgery, just didn't look like he was himself. He was the old Seth Curry tonight. Just much more confident, knocked down a bunch of shots. I love the play late right here from Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is wide open. Kevin Durant can take that shot. He wants to get Seth Curry involved. Seth Curry knocks down another three.
And you're talking about a guy who played a little over 11 minutes on the court tonight. He told Megan he's still getting back up to speed. That's a good sign.
Absolutely. And, there was that moment where you had Ben Simmons giving the pass to Kevin Durant, back door. A lot of that has to do with the three-point shooters that you have out there. That opens up the court, and guys cutting to the basket will have layups and dunks at the rim. Curry coming back and playing like this, it changes so much because, remember, he could start, he could come off the bench. Now, Patty Mills didn't play a lot tonight, really, because you had Seth Curry and Joe Harris making shots.
All right, so let's talk about the defense now. We said on the pregame, the last 3 games, the defense has been a lot better for Brooklyn. It was again tonight. They held the Knicks to 35% shooting. In the first half, 34% overall. And take a look at the last 4 games. The points allowed, I mean, that just jumps off the page. They were allowing 118 points a game. The last 4, they've allowed 90 on average.
That includes going up against some really good players like Bradley Beal, like Luka Doncic. Tonight, the Knicks coming off a big win the other night in Minnesota where they put up a ton of points. I just think Jacque Vaughn, attention to detail is something that has to do with it. But I just think, everyone... Kevin Durant is the star of the team. Everyone else, the next player, especially with Kyrie Irving gone, you fall way down on the list. So what do? They all go out there. They work hard on both ends of the court. They get it done. I just like the way that they've been playing. And you got to give Jacque Vaughn a lot of credit. He stepped right in. They did lose that first game, but the way that they've played since then, it just looks like a different team.
And like you said on the pregame, maybe it wasn't so much about Nash. It's the way that Vaughn delivers the message and gets it across about we need to tighten it up on defense. We're better than this.
Yeah, and I think he understood, we're not going to win by outscoring teams. That's number one. But I also think it helps. He's got Kevin Durant, who you could rely on so much offensively. And there were moments tonight where you thought, oh, here comes the Knicks. They're going to make their run. And what does Kevin Durant do? He scores. But the fact that Kevin Durant is going to defend, he's going to get it done on the defensive end. He's going after Julius Randle. Like I talked about, the back and forth. Andrew Marchand of the New York Post went there. Our producer, Mike Bedved.
Yeah.
I think Ithaca will win. I know a lot of people that went to both schools. Cortland would beat them in soccer. Ithaca will end up beating them in football. Sorry to my friends at Cortland.
Yeah, interesting. But you know your soccer game, and you also know football, so that's a good call.
Cortland is good in soccer. Very good.
We're rooting for Medvin, right?
Yeah,
Ithaca to win.
Yeah, because he said we're going to go quickly tonight. So
right.
That's why we're rooting for him.
Well, let's talk about Edmund Sumner and the night that he had. Again, 18 points. You see his night there, 7 of 10 from the field. Big impact for him.
Yeah, it really started early for him. And I think, again, when you're out of the league like he was for a year, I should say, not playing, and when you come back, you could tell how much he missed it. And now he's getting this opportunity, not only to start, but to play with a guy like Kevin Durant. But he has to hold up his end of the bargain. You got to be aggressive, especially when you're going up against Jalen Brunson. That's the way that he was, especially in that first quarter and the first half.
He got it done tonight. Let's hear from Edmund.
Ed, you kind of told us this morning how it had been killing you, all the threes you were missing when you know you can make those. I mean, was tonight kind of the night you'd been hoping for a while now?
You kind of feel it like it's itching around. Once I kind of hit that one in Washington, got that monkey off my back, I knew it was coming around. I'm just sticking with the process, talk to my trainer. He sent me clips every game. Just knowing if I stick with the process, they're gonna come around.
Forget if it was after the second or third when you kind of turned and faced the crowd after you hit it in the corner across from your bench. Was that your I'm feeling tonight kind of moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I've said that one. I knew. I'm like, okay, it's feeling good tonight. Everything's feeling good. So just kind of getting into it. I feel like once I'm really enjoying it and emotionally into the game, like the game's just so much easier. You're not overthinking. You're just playing out there.
I mean, Kevin was in there not too long ago talking about how you just came back from being out for a year with the Achilles. He was out with the same injury, and he said, part of him was just coming back and experimenting, trying new stuff and pushing his body. For you, is it, experimenting, trying new things, or is it you trying to just do the old things that you used to do well?
It's both, and it's honestly just trusting it. For like, when you're out there, you're missing shots or you're not doing the stuff that you're normally accustomed to doing, that's very frustrating. But with me, it's just kind of sticking to the positive, knowing I put all the hard work to get back to this opportunity. And with the constant reps and, staying in the gym, I knew it was going to overcome. So just kind of sticking, knowing my role also, not trying to do too much, but also knowing, okay, you got to be out there being aggressive. So it's like a good balance.
Are there, I guess, any definite things that you guys are doing differently under Jacque that maybe you guys weren't doing under Steve, or is it just all playing harder?
Honestly, I think it's just playing harder. Schemes are still the same. We're doing the exact same stuff. Honestly, I feel like we're really covering for each other. If I get beat off the bounce, I know somebody's right there to pick me up. I bounce off and go to another guy. So I feel like we're really just coming together. And honestly, that's not just like us getting used to playing with each other. Now we're a lot more games in and stuff like that. And we're willing to sacrifice. So we're trusting in guys more and stuff like that.
Ed, going off that, just what was your reaction to Jacque getting the full-time coaching gig? And even though it's your first year here, what's your relationship been like him in that time?
Because I came in the summer, so when I was in the summer, I was working out with him. But, I mean, I'm happy for him. He's a great dude. So we had many conversations just throughout the summer, just about New York, just life, stuff like that, getting to know one each other. So, I mean, I think we built a good relationship, and, I mean, I was happy to hear that. I was excited for him and just ready to do my job. That's not something I control. So once they told us that, I was happy and was ready to come in and get to work.
What was Jacque's message at the beginning of that second quarter when the Knicks went on that quick run? I think they went on a 5-0 run, cut the lead down. He called a quick timeout. What did he say to you guys to kind of get you guys to lock back in?
Really just sticking to what we been the principle, defensive end. I mean, we used to NBA, we know the guys going to go on runs, they're going to hit shots. So you just got to stay poised, take their punch, and then kind of respond.
Oh, Brooklyn did just that, winning it 112-85. We're going to take a break and have final thoughts, and we'll look ahead to their next game coming up Saturday against the Clippers.